This morning from our host state, Florida DOT, we have here Brian Blanchard, who is the Assistant Deputy for Engineering and Operations here, and you can thank him for all the wonderful transportation network.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I only have 8 slides, so I will be brief, but I did want to welcome you all to Florida, and I'm going to start with the end in mind. I hope you will not be happy with the status quo and actually take something back to your state and actually implement it. So be innovative, and I really appreciate the partnership with everyone. I want to tell you a little bit about Florida. It is a big state. We have about 12,000 bridges, about 6,800 of those we maintain here in Florida, and got about 31 public urban transit systems. Got 15 seaports. 2 of those are spaceports, so that's a little unique. Those spaceports are special districts of the Department of Transportation, and about 20 commercial airports. So we are a big state, about 20 million in population, and last year we had about 113 million visitors. That's a lot of visitors, almost 5 times our population. So you might think, why? Well, we have so many visitors. Well, obviously we have great beaches, right? We've got Orlando Disney close by, Universal close by. We have 3 of the busiest cruise ports in the world, Everglades, Canaveral, and Port of Miami. So that keeps us really busy. And we do a pretty good job of keeping up with our infrastructure. In fact, the Wall Street report recently said that Florida did the best job in maintaining its infrastructure. So, hey, I had to throw that out there. You know, you got to take advantage of credit whenever you get it, right? So I thought that was good, but they rated us very high in preserving our roadways, preserving our bridges, and how we prioritize highway funding. And so that's what gave us such a great rating. And we do have a legislature and a governor who do support transportation. This is the 5th year that we've had a $10 billion plus budget. So we're excited about that. You probably noticed outside there's a lot of orange cones. We are rebuilding I-4. That's a $2 billion concession project. That project would have taken us close to 20 years. We will rebuild the interstate in 6 years. So we're excited about that. There's also a turnpike project close by that you may have driven through. So it's a lot of work going on in Florida, and we're excited about that. I mentioned the bridges, 12,000 or so, and about 6,800 that we maintain. As far as structurally deficient, only about 2% of our bridges are structurally deficient, so we're behind Texas and Nevada. So, Nevada, it's kind of like apples and oranges, but we are 3rd behind Nevada and Texas. And one of the reasons we only have 2% structurally deficient is because we have performance measures in place, and one of those is that 90% of all bridges have to be in good or better condition, and right now we're at 95%. But we also have a policy that we have to repair or replace any bridge that's structurally deficient or posted within 6 years. And so with that policy in place, that keeps that 2% close to 2%. Doing well there. We do a great job partnering with everyone here about bridge preservation. I wanted to throw a plug in about just building better bridges. I started my career as a structures engineer, so I wanted to throw this plug in, but I think it's really important that we be innovative and look for more durable designs, better quality construction. We work closely with our materials office to find more durable materials, and of course we get valuable feedback from maintenance. And so I was thinking about some of the things that we recently implemented to build better bridges, and I was thinking about Florida's kind of unique because, as you guys know, we have a very corrosive environment, but we also have a lot of post-tensioning tendons. And so we, obviously with that kind of corrosion, it reduces the load-bearing capacity, and of course it can be very expensive to replace. So we've moved to flexible fillers. It's kind of like a wax type product that makes replacing those tendons cheaper, quicker, faster, and I think we're the first in the state to use flexible fillers, so hopefully that will make the preservation of those tendons a little bit easier. And another area that I wanted to mention was the Halls River Bridge. I believe this bridge is complete now, or if it's not, it's very close to being complete. But this bridge has no black steel in it. A lot of glass fiber reinforced polymer bars, carbon fiber reinforced polymer strands, and then some hybrid composite beams. And so obviously in a state like Florida, where we've got extremely corrosive environments, we've got to look for ways to remove that black steel and increase the design life. So I'm going to close with this last slide, that we do live, bridge preservation is very important to us, and I know there's a lot of challenges, and so I encourage you to network, and I'm sure there's someone at this conference, if you got a problem or a challenge, someone has probably dealt with it. So network and talk to those folks. And
can you tell us, you mentioned a couple of innovative materials that Florida is using. Can you just come up and give us a real quick summary of how Florida DOT approaches innovative materials, and whether you're open to looking at new and improved ways of doing things?
Well, the reason I mentioned the Halls River Bridge is because obviously when you get cracks in bridges, it's usually the reinforcing that's corroding, and so you need to get rid of the reinforcing, the black reinforcing. And so we're looking at different ways to use carbon fiber, to use galvanized products. We're open to innovation, and if we think we're about 90% there, we will try a pilot project and go ahead and use that technology and see if it will work. So, there's a lot of recycled products that we use at the State Materials Office is constantly looking at that. The amount of polymer we're putting in our asphalt mixes continues to increase, but we've had great performance with our polymers and asphalt pavement. And so that's really what comes to mind is pavements, bridges. We've got to continue to look at innovative products like I mentioned in the presentation. So I'll close with that, and thank you very much.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.